Alright, what's up everybody? It's your boy Keenan. Welcome to today's vlog. Here to recap week 14 of the college football season, championship week, and it was close to upset special week in this past week in college football and all these major championships. There was a couple of key upsets alerts in these matches, and this was a great weekend overall. Now I'm going to jot down and go through all the final scores for all these championship performances and give you the results of who was going to make it to the BCS bowl games. Now I'm going to start things off with the Kent State Northern Illinois matchup for the MAC championship. I told you guys Northern Illinois was going to pull that upset and ruin everything for Kent State. They ended up winning 44-37 in double overtime. Quarterback Jordan Lynch rushed for 160 yards and a couple of scores. He had a great game, MVP of that matchup. Now I need to talk about the Pac-12 and the Big Ten next. Starting with the Pac-12 championship, this was an upset alert in this game. Stanford pulled off the escape 27-24 against UCLA, which means Stanford would make it to the Rose Bowl. Now this was a great game overall. UCLA's ground game actually stepped up a lot in this matchup, as well as the offensive line doing well blocking for running back Jonathan Franklin, who rushed for 194 yards and a couple of scores. He had a great game, but it wasn't good enough against Stanford. Stanford pulled off the 3-point victory. In the Big Ten championships, this was a big upset, the upset game of the week. Nebraska fell big time against Wisconsin 70-31 due to the ground game for Wisconsin. Monty Ball rushed for 202 yards and 3 scores. MVP of the game. He had a monstrous game just like Jonathan Franklin, and it was a very big upset in the college football nation. I cannot believe Nebraska lost this game, especially that bad. Now this means Wisconsin got the nod to play the Rose Bowl against Stanford. That's going to be a great game. A couple of other games we need to talk about. The SEC championship between Alabama and Georgia. This was the game of the week. Georgia almost pulled off the upset, but it wasn't good enough. They lost 32-28 due to the running game of Alabama. That offensive line played spectacular, opening up holes for both running backs, TJ Hilton and Eddie Lacy. Both of these two players, as well as the other running backs, combined for 350 yards rushing in this championship performance. Now, based on this game, Alabama will play Notre Dame for the 2012 BCS National Championship game. Now, I have a couple other games we need to talk about. Kansas State against Texas. My Longhorns fell 42-24. Now, Kansas State earned the Big 12 championship. They won the crown, and they will make it to a BCS bowl game outright. And last but not least, one big game that I called out this week, Rutgers against Louisville. I went with Rutgers in this one. They had the home field advantage, but it wasn't good enough. They fell 3 points short and lost 20-17. I can't believe Teddy Bridgewater showed a lot of heart and a lot of heroics in this matchup. He was injured with his non-thrown shoulder, and he still stepped up through for 263 yards and 2 touchdowns, leading the Cardinals to a BCS bowl game. Now, the results of the BCS championship series, I have all these games we need to talk about. I just mentioned the national championship is going to be between number 1 Notre Dame and number 2 Alabama. The Rose Bowl, Stanford and Wisconsin, like I said. And the remaining bowls, the Fiesta Bowl, number 5 Oregon is going to be playing against Kansas State. That's going to be a great game to watch. The Sugar Bowl, this is going to be between number 22 Louisville, back in the top 25 ranking, against number 4 Florida. Interesting game, not too sure about that game. I think Florida's going to spank them, but I will give you an individual preview of that matchup. And last but not least, the Discover Orange Bowl. This game is going to be between Northern Illinois. They got the nod, and they're going to be playing against Florida State. Oh, I forgot to mention the Florida State Georgia Tech game. Georgia Tech went down 21-15, and this was a scare for Florida State. I told you guys this was an upset special this week in college football. Georgia Tech, they ended up trying to throw the football effectively to make the defense unsecure and unbalanced on that side, and it wasn't good enough. They tried to throw the football, like I said, in this matchup, and they tried to combine it with that run game, balance that offense, particularly running the football more like they always do, but it wasn't good enough against that Florida State defense. Florida State pulled off the escape in the ACC championship, so they're going to be playing against Northern Illinois. I cannot believe Northern Illinois, they chopped off 5 slots. They went from number 21 in the AP poll to number 16, and actually number 15 in the BCS rankings. This was a big jump. I'm proud of this team, but now I know a lot of people believe that a couple of teams got snubbed, like Georgia. They barely lost in the SEC championship. They will play Nebraska in the Capital One Bowl, and Number 12, Oklahoma. They got snubbed, a lot of people believe, because they're a better team than Northern Illinois. I believe so myself, but I have to say this, Northern Illinois kind of deserves this themselves because they won the championship outright, and this was a wacky college football year, and because they played against a good Kent State team who was just one win away of making it to a BCS bowl game, they jumped 5 notches. I kind of believe that Northern Illinois somewhat deserves this, so I'm not going to hate too much, but OU did get snubbed a little against Northern Illinois. But between all these teams making it to the BCS bowl games, the team that I believe that is least deserved to make it is Louisville out of the Big East. They have 2 losses compared to 1 loss to Northern Illinois, and they did beat Rutgers, but Kent State beat Rutgers. Northern Illinois beats Kent State. I kind of think Louisville and the Big East is a little bit weaker this year compared to the MAC conference. I think Northern Illinois deserves it over Louisville, but you have to stick with the rules. The BCS automatics includes Big East, so I have to add Louisville in the mix. Sorry for OU, but they still have a great Cotton Bowl matchup against former Big 12 component Texas A&M. That's going to be a great game. Now, next time to catch you guys is throughout this month. Now, these bowl games is going to start on the 15th of this month, and I will give you an individual preview of every game this year in bowl season. I'll catch you guys then. Thank you for watching today's vlog. I'm your man, Akeem McCall. Be easy.